Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay and I'm here to talk to you about China. I know what you must be thinking. Here we go again, another story on China. But hear me out. I'm not talking about the country that you're thinking of. Were you thinking of this one? I'm sure you were. Well, this is the People's Republic of China. It's a communist monolith which claims to represent 1.3 billion people. I'm talking about this small island over here, just 130 kilometers away from China, a semi-sovereign state with a vibrant democracy. It is home to 23 million people. It is officially known as the Republic of China, ROC. But those living on this island call it Taiwan. And the rest of the world basically is sitting on the fence when it comes to Taiwan. We say it's time the world stopped playing games about Taiwan's status. Taiwan has functioned as an independent political entity for 7 decades. But the world still goes by Beijing's definition of it, a breakaway province, an inseparable part of China's territory. The fact is, Taiwan is not a part of communist China. It has never been. Then what exactly is going on here? To understand, we'll have to go back into history. Don't worry, not too far in history. We will start from 1912. The Qing dynasty was struggling to cling to power behind the walls of the Forbidden City. There was civil unrest. It snowballed into a revolution. The revolutionaries then forced the last Qing emperor to abdicate, and so the Qing dynasty collapsed. It marked the end of 2,000 years of imperial rule in China and the formation of the Republic of China, the ROC, a democracy run by a constitution founded with a hope to establish a modern state. A state that could shake off the image of imperial and backward China. But this republic was beset with internal struggles. Kuomintang, the party which ran the Republic of China, did not control the entire country. Large areas still remained under semi-autonomous rule. And this gave way to armed rebellions across China. In the year 1921, these rebel groups came together. They formed what the world knows today as the Communist Party of China. This party became involved in a power struggle with the Kuomintang. A civil war followed. The communists fought a bloody battle against the ruling nationalists for years, and in 1949, they succeeded in overthrowing them. So what happened next? Well, the leader of the Republic of China, Chiang Kai-shek, and the remnants of his party, Kuomintang, moved to Taiwan. They declared Taipei their national capital. But it wasn't just the government that shifted base. From soldiers to intellectuals and business elites, close to 2 million people moved homes from mainland China to Taiwan. They took along many national treasures and most of China's gold reserves. They were saving China's treasures from getting into the hands of the People's Liberation Army. And this retreat was supposed to be temporary. It ended up being permanent. Back on mainland China, the Communist Party established the People's Republic of China, PRC. It declared Beijing the capital and began a concerted global campaign to isolate the ROC. And the flashpoint came in the year 1971. The ROC, that is Taiwan, lost its United Nations seat to the PRC, the People's Republic of China. The United Nations accepted the Communist Party as the legitimate government of China, and ever since, the People's Republic of China, PRC in Beijing, has officially held the title of China. Taiwan has been diplomatically isolated, abandoned by Western powers. The support reduced to symbolic gestures. But none of this deterred the Taiwanese people. This island began focusing on industrialization and economic growth. This transformation came to be known as the Taiwan Miracle. I have some figures for you, and this is most interesting. Between 1965 and 1986, Taiwan's gross national product, GNP, grew 360%, 360. Even more impressive was its global industrial production output. It grew by 680% in the same period. Thanks to these economic successes, the island started doing better than most Western countries. Along with Singapore, South Korea and Hong Kong, Taiwan became known as one of the 4 Asian tigers. And today, this Asian tiger is a success story in every sense of the word. It has some strong and progressive credentials. The annual GDP is greater than that of the Netherlands, Sweden and Norway. There's a free and robust media in Taiwan. Women make up 50% of Taiwan's labor force and close to 42% of its legislature. Taiwan has the highest percentage of women lawmakers anywhere in Asia. And that's not all. This small island is the only Asian nation to have legalized same-sex marriage. And then we come to Taiwan's pandemic success story. Incredible. A democratic Taiwan has outperformed an authoritarian China in battling the Wuhan virus by a huge margin. In fact, it was Taipei which first discovered the Wuhan virus. They warned the world about it. As of August 2020, Taiwan has less than 500 cases of the Wuhan virus, and it has reported only 7 deaths. No lockdown. It managed to do all of this without any assistance from the World Health Organization. Taiwan is not even a member of the global health body. The world can definitely learn a lot from this small island nation. As for China, it may be a big part of Taiwan's history, but it makes up a very small part of Taiwan's present. Like I said, Taiwan is not a part of Communist China, not more than Austria is a part of Germany, or the United States, a part of England. Taiwan has grown up. It is ready to move out, ready to become an independent country like others. But the Chinese Communist Party won't allow this. It considers Taiwanese independence as an existential threat, the biggest failure of its One China policy. And so Taiwan still lives in the shadow cast by its giant neighbor. There's a looming threat of a Chinese invasion. In the last 6 months, China has increased its naval activities in the South China Sea. Chinese warships and fighter jets have been buzzing around the coast of Taiwan. What is the world doing about all this? Well, most countries acknowledge Taiwan's sovereignty, but not many are prepared to stand beside it publicly, with the exception perhaps of the United States with its military might. Most other nations remain silent on China's threats to Taiwan, and that includes India. New Delhi too has remained silent on this matter. It is time that India broke this silence. A tiny island is facing a mighty country. It's a David and Goliath story. You know who wins.